Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another review of The Mandalorian. Today, we're taking a look at Chapter 21, The Pirate. So, right off the bat, I do have a very quick, funny story about last week's review. So, the fact that you guys got last week's review at all is a little bit of a miracle, because I talked and I talked and I talked, and I was pretty happy with how everything turned out, and then I exported the audio file when I was done and everything, as I always do. And then I went to, and then I closed the program, and then I went to, put my audio file into Premiere so I could, export the video and everything. And then I realized, hold on a second, where has my audio file gone? So I searched and I searched and I searched and I searched and I searched all over my computer, and I could not for the life of me find it. And so my only thought was, well, the export must have corrupted and not actually finished like I thought it did. And silly me, I didn't save the project. I just let it delete itself. So I just lost that whole 40 minutes of audio. So very distraught, I allowed myself a couple minutes to calm down. And then I recorded a very short kind of speed run through my main talking points that I talked about. Very forlornly, though, as I was upset that I lost that 40 minutes. Then, however, when I went to export that, I noticed that the folder that it opened up in for the export opened up in the Bad Batch folder. So I just scrolled on down, and I was like, hold on a second. And I checked the most recent Bad Batch review file, and lo and behold, the newest Bad Batch file was not actually for the Bad Batch. It was actually for the Mandalorian, and I just saved it under the wrong in the wrong folder under the name of a Bad Batch review instead of for the Mandalorian. So the 40 minutes was saved after all. You guys got the video as was originally intended. So yay! so I had to laugh at myself for that one. And I'm gonna make double extra careful sure that that doesn't happen again, so I don't cause myself more pain and misery. So anyway, moving on to, like I said, Chapter 21 of The Mandalorian, The Pirate. So I don't really have too much to say on this episode this week because it's mainly an action-focused episode. We get a little bit of story material, but for the most part, this is just kind of an action episode where it's like set up action sequences and stuff, and then that's kind of the bulk of the first 2/3 of the episode, and then we get like a little short story continuation afterward. So it seems like we're moving in the direction that a lot of us thought that the story was moving in, where Bo-Katan will become the Mandalore, and she will take the mantle of leader of the Mandalorians, and now she's going to go recruit other clans and everything. So that's exciting. That's cool. Especially since, going to find other Mandalorians. Now there's rumors percolating that we're going to see Finn Rao from Rebels. That's cool. We'll get to the other Rebels connection here in a second. Maybe we'll see Sabine Wren before she shows up in Ahsoka. That would be awesome. Like just a very small snippet of like going to Lothal. That would be awesome. I'd really appreciate that. That'd be cool. It's like other Mandalorian clans. Or will we see the Mandos that were with Bo-Katan last season, season 2. So it's like, lots of interesting, cool things happening with Bo-Katan in the near future, since, as of recording, the next episode's only like 2 days away from me. So yay. So yeah, that's kind of going the way most of us thought it would. The only thing though is that the armor is like, nah, she can take off her helmet if she wants. And kind of, she has walked in both worlds. So it's like, if you want to be a part of this particular clan, the Children of the Watch, then yeah, you need to keep your helmet on, it seems like. However, that if you take it off, that doesn't immediately not make you Mandalorian. I think maybe the armorer's views are changing a little bit. So now I do wonder if we're going to see like some of the other Mandalorians start taking their helmets off and stuff. That'd be interesting. It's like, wouldn't it just make meal times easier? I mean, come on. I get not taking it off in front of strangers, but I mean, it's your clan. Just you could take off the helmet to eat around the campfire. Come on, people. So anyway, but I did find it really funny that um, the is that after Lieutenant Carson Teva finds the children of the Watch, you know, and then they're having this discussion about whether or not they're going to go to Navarro to save it from pirates and everything. It cuts to Din around the campfire, and he's holding one of the armorer's hammers. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, is that a talking stick? Are they using the talking stick method, but it's just with the armorer's hammers instead of a stick? What? Why does he have that? And then, sure enough, he hands it back to the armorer, and she's like, "Who else wants to speak?" It's like, "I will speak." And Paz Vizsla stands up. And she hands him the hammer, so it's totally a talking. I don't know why that tickled me so much. I just found it really funny that here we are, these super elite Mandalorian warriors. You know, it's like we have this, clan culture and code of honor, and it's like we're an ancient society and everything, but we're also super advanced at the same time with our technology and blah blah blah. But when it comes to having group discussions, we all abide by the talking stick. This is the way. Like I said, I don't know why that tickles me so much. I just kind of find it funny in a good way. So yeah, and of course Paz Vizsla sides with Din. He's I will fight beside them. And honestly, there should have been a ... It's like, besides, this planet stinks because things try to eat us all the time. Where on Navarro we never had that issue until the Imperials showed up, and everyone's like, yes, that is a good point, Paz Vizsla. So yeah, just really cool action sequences. I love seeing Mandalorians running around doing Mandalorian things, jetpacks, wrist gauntlets, wrapping people up in tow cables only to bring them forward and punch them in the face and everything. And now they have a base to settle, and they can help rebuild the world, and they can live out in the sunlight instead of the shadows again. So that's really fun. That's really cool. I like that. And of course, now Bo is going to go recruit other Mandalorians so they can actually retake Mandalore. Not that there's really much to retake it from other than the ghouls, I guess. But I mean, maybe that's where, maybe they're going to show up and go, "Oh, this will be easy," and then it's going to be Grand Admiral Thrawn's Star Destroyer or something. He's like, not so fast. And then everyone's like, "We don't know who you are," and he's like, "Oh, but the fans do," and he does a big old wink at the camera. And he goes, "And if you don't, ask your nerd friends." So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But Rebels connection, really really cool. At the beginning of the episode, we have Carson Teva, on that New Republic outpost, where you've got all the flyboys and stuff. And then who is there? The one, the only, Gareth Zeb Aurelius in the CG flesh, and it was awesome. Awesome. I would not have thought that Zeb was going to be the first Rebels character to show up. I really thought it was going to be Sabine or Hera. I mean, technically Chopper is the first one because he's in Rogue One, but that's a very quick blink and you'll miss it cameo. This is up front. He has speaking lines. I guess Chopper had speaking lines too, because you can hear him go wah, 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 in the background of Rogue One. But he's not front and center. This is Zeb front and center. It's like I really thought it was going to be Hera or Sabine or something first. So the fact that we get Zeb of all characters, and I've speculated about this before in these reviews. I'm pretty sure it's like, are they going to bring in Zeb? I think it's been in these reviews. It may be when I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront with my friends or something. I may have speculated there, but yeah, it's like, if they do it, I feel like it would probably have to be like some sort of mix of puppet or CG to get it to work, and so they probably experiment and they decided, well, we got to go CG with this, and then, if I'm remembering correctly, I think Steve Bloom's son posted on Instagram that Steve Bloom was actually on the set that day, and he was wearing a mocap suit, and so like he performed Zeb and everything, and then they did the whole K2SO thing, and digitized his movements and everything, put Zeb in there. So it's really cool. I mean, the moment he opens his mouth and it's like, it's Zeb. It's like you don't even really see, you're not even paying attention to him because he's not the focus of the shot. Carson Teva is still the focus of the shot, but then you hear him and you just kind of see this figure walk into frame, and then you focus on the figure and it's like, oh my gosh, it's Zeb. That's so cool. That's so awesome. So that was really awesome. I hope this means he's going to show up in Ahsoka a bunch, because if I mean, just having Zeb there with his bow rifle, kicking stormtroopers in the face and stuff. I mean, that's just that. It's like, and maybe because of what he is, they are not going to go completely that route, and they're going to relegate him to being like the one that stays behind on base to look after everything. But they still have him in there here, and I don't know, but I mean that has to be it's like I don't think that they would build and rig a whole animated Zeb model and bring in Steve Bloom if he's just going to have these couple lines in this one episode of Mandalorian. If they're not planning on using him elsewhere, because if that's all they were doing, then you could have given those lines to Trapper Wolf and had Dave Filoni there. And and it would have been, it would have been, oh hey, it's Dave. I mean, but the thing is, Dave Filoni's in that scene. He's sitting there with his cowboy hat on with the other directors from previous Mando episodes, Rick Fumiyama and Deborah Chow, who of course also directed all the Obi-Wan Kenobi episodes. So it's real funny that so I mean, it could have easily just been Trapper Wolf there with his space cowboy hat. And yes, that was an intentional reference because Steve Bloom is in this scene. But they could have just given it to Trapper Wolf, and it wouldn't have affected the story any. So the fact that they actually went through the trouble to CG in Zeb and everything, and bring in Steve Bloom to mocap it on the day, and it's like, I mean, he's going to be in the Ahsoka show. He's going to be in it. So. Whew, getting excited for that. So, yeah. And then, of course, the ending of the episode, Beskar alloy in the Lambda shuttle. I don't know why the New Republic would use a Lambda shuttle. Seems a little silly to me, but I mean, I guess, it's like, well, waste not, want not. But it's like, well, but you're getting rid of this whole fleet, so why would you keep one Lambda shuttle? Maybe that was just a production time thing. It's like, well, we spent so much time on Zeb, we don't have time to spend on designing a new Republic transport, so we're just going to reuse the Lambda shuttle model because we have that. And I guess that makes sense. Because the Lambda shuttle is just like so obviously Imperial to me that it's like, why? Because when it showed up, I'm like, oh, it's like, this is going to be the... I honestly, at first, I thought it was going to be the shuttle that Mando and Cara Dune and Boba Fett sprung Dr. Pershing from at the end of Season 2. And then, no, it's a totally different Lambda shuttle. And this was carrying Moff Gideon to trial. And, of course, he never made it because he got sprung. And so, yeah, mysterious Beskar alloy. Interesting. Of course, a lot of people are going, oh, who is it going to be? Is it Death Watch? It's like, well, we kind of have the Death Watch. It's the Children of the Watch. So they're the remnants of Death Watch at this point, I'm pretty sure, is where they're going with that. And then, and then it's like, is it another clan we've never seen before? Or is Moff Gideon, like framing the Mandalorians? I think that could be possible, that he's trying to frame them. But at the same time, I think another possibility is that it's the Imperial Super Commandos from Clan Saxon that were loyal to the Empire because the Empire gave them a ruling status. So I could see like Gar Saxon's son or something having sprung Moff Gideon because he wants revenge against other Mandalorians for, like, first of all, leading a revolution that ended up with the decimation of their homeworld. I mean, that's a pretty big grievance. And then also, it's like, well, they were loyal to the Empire, so they're probably not faring too well now that the New Republic is around. So, it's like they would probably want to see the Empire back in power. So it's just one of those mutual alliance things where they both benefit. So I think that's also a possibility, that it's the Imperial Super Commandos, and their armor isn't totally Beskar. It's, it has some Beskar alloy in it, but it's not 100% Beskar. It's also, so unlike the rest of the armor that most other Mandalorians wear. That was pretty plainly stated in that one episode of Rebels. So yeah. I'm interested to see where that goes, of course. And I mean, yeah, this was a nice bit of action. The pirates were cool. Just all the action scenes involving the Mandalorians fighting the pirates was really awesome. The pirates didn't really stand a chance because almost all of them ended up killed. And by my count, they only killed one Mandalorian with that big cannon, because it's like that one guy took a shot like straight to the chest. I'm like, yeah, the armor is probably fine, but that guy's ribcage just dust now. Sorry, that poor guy. But it's like I think everyone else lived, so it's like it was just that one guy, Mando, flipping around in the N1, shooting down snub fighters, and then the one shot of the Mandalorian riding a snub fighter and like firing at the engines and then blasting away on his jetpack as the snub fighter crashes into the ground. Awesome. This like I love Mandalorians so much. They're so cool. And just it's like the halo drop out of the gauntlet fighter and everything. And it's like, and the pirates having no idea what's going on, just getting ambushed from above by flying Mandalorians on jetpacks. This is everything I've ever wanted from the Mandalorian. It's so cool. So I've loved Mandalorians for so long. I thought that they're just been cool since forever. Like a good decade before most people even knew what a Mandalorian was. So like this is my, and it was really awesome when it happened and everything, but this was kind of my Luke Skywalker comes back moment for me. It's like it's a bunch of Mandalorians in live action flying around. It's like, and we kind of already got that a little bit with in episode 3, season 1, episode 3, but that was a very small little bit. I mean, this was like a larger extended sequence and everything, and everyone was helping out. It was this larger battle and everything, so it's just and it was also in the day, so you could see things better, and it wasn't all dark and gloomy and at night and stuff. So yeah, this for me, this was kind of my big old nerd out, just this is so cool moment. So yeah, hopefully with Bo-Katan going to hopefully recruit the clans, we get some cameos from other Mandalorian characters that we've known about in the past, and we get more of this by the end of the show. And if that's the case, then you may not get a review from me for the last couple episodes, because I just might die of excitement. So there's that. So, yeah, I think that's really all I have to say about this episode. I'm surprised I've gone this long, actually, because it's like, yeah, it's fight. Bo-Katan's going to get Mandalorians, Moff Gideon's on the loose, woo! And that's kind of the episode in a nutshell. But it's like some really cool action. And Shmi from Peter Pan was in it as an Ugnaught. That was cool. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.